If your Windows 11 PC randomly freezes, sudden hangs, then it unfreezes like nothing happened. That random freeze feeling is scary because you cannot predict it and it destroys trust fast. Most of the time, freezes come from a small list of causes you can actually verify. Rule for this video: change one thing, test for a day, then move to the next culprit. Do not stack 10 tweaks at once because you will never know what actually fixed it. Culprit 1 is storage pressure on the C drive, plus drive health issues that create brief stalls. When C is nearly full, Windows struggles with temp space, catching updates, and background housekeeping tasks. Open Settings, then System, then Storage, and check how much free space you have right now. Try to keep at least 20% free space on C, especially on smaller SSDs. A full drive can make apps hang, Explorer freeze, and the system feels stuck for seconds. Next, consider drive health and temperature, because SSDs can stall when they are overheating or failing. If Windows is installed on an HDD, random freezes are common during updates, scans, and heavy background activity. Culprit 2 is driver conflicts, especially GPU drivers, chipset drivers, and storage drivers on some systems. A bad driver can cause micro freezes, UI hangs, audio glitches, or a short black screen reset. If freezes happen during gaming, video playback, or scrolling heavy pages, GPU drivers become the first suspect. If freezes happen during normal desktop work, chipset and storage drivers also become high on the list. Update drivers from official sources only, not random driver packs or one-click updated utilities. If freezes started right after a driver update, roll back once, then test for a full day. Culprit 3 is unstable RAM, especially after enabling XMP or EXPO or mixing different RAM kits. A PC can boot and still be unstable because instability shows up under certain loads, not instantly. Unstable memory often causes short freezes. Then the PC continues like it never happened. Go into BIOS and disable XMP or EXPO for one day, then use the PC normally. If freezes stop, your memory settings were too aggressive or your kit is not fully stable. Culprit 4 is background apps spiking CPU or disk at the wrong moment, creating a system-wide stall. When the PC comes back, it often means a background task blocked disk access or CPU time. Next time a freeze happens, open Task Manager immediately and look at CPU and disk graphs. Common offenders include cloud sync tools, game launchers, browser background processes, and vendor helper utilities. OneDrive syncing thousands of small files can cause disk contention that feels like a random freeze. Launchers and update services can scan, patch, or verify files while you are trying to work. Reduce startup apps, pause syncing during important work, and uninstall junk utilities you never asked for. Culprit 5 is overheating or power limits, especially in laptops, small cases, or dusty systems. Heat does not always crash a PC. It can create brief throttling events that feel like a freeze. If freezes show up after 10 to 20 minutes of load, temperature becomes a strong suspect. On laptops, clean vents, elevate the rear, and avoid silent profiles that throttle too aggressively. On desktops, Check cooler mounting, fan curves, thermal paste condition, and basic case airflow. Also consider PSU stability if you have a cheap unit, because voltage dips can look like random hangs. Culprit 6 is hardware errors, and the good news is Windows often leaves clues you can read. Open Event Viewer and go to Windows Logs, then System, and focus on the freeze time. You are not reading every line. You are looking for repeated critical errors and warnings. Disk warnings point to storage problems, cable issues, or failing drives causing momentary stalls. Display driver resets point to GPU driver issues, unstable overclocks, or power delivery problems. WAEA hardware errors usually point to CPU, RAM, or PCIe stability, especially when XMP is enabled. This is how you stop guessing and start proving what is actually failing on your system. Here's a simple action plan that fixes most random freeze PCs without risky nonsense. First, free space on C and reduce storage pressure. Then confirm the drive is healthy. Second, update or roll back drivers based on when the freezing started and test after each change. Third, disable XMP or EXPO for 1 day to test memory stability, then adjust properly if needed. Fourth, cut background chaos, especially syncing, launchers, helper apps, and unnecessary updaters. Fifth, verify tongue and airflow, and do not ignore power quality if your PSU is questionable. Sixth, use Event Viewer to confirm the category of failure, then target the correct component. If you want me to pinpoint it faster, comment your CPU, GPU, RAM amount, and if XMP or EXPO is on. Also tell me your storage type, SSD or HDD, and when freezes happen, idle, browsing, gaming, or transfers. Follow for more evergreen Windows fixes, and subscribe for the next video on stutter and disk spikes.